Kapil. When the world gets surrounded by darkness, he comes. When man wallow in ignorance, mothers weep, and the children die for hollow platitudes, he comes. When the sigh of truth is drowned by clamor of corruption, when hate, rage, and greed are worshipped as gods, he comes to save our lives. He stands tall against the most ferocious, insane, and craziest creature you could possibly fathom, and destroys his vicious plan of killing the mankind. I wanted to be like him when I was young. Well, I'm talking about my childhood role model, Dhruv, popularly known as Super Commando Dhruv in the world of Indian comics. I remember distinctly how enamored I was with the concept of comics at an early age. Fictional characters, dumb to dangerous villains, humoristic to dark plots, captivated my interest in comics for a very, very long time and helped building my personality to some extent. Today, based on my experiences, I will try to communicate how comics can play an influential role in developing a kid's personality. What is so great about comics? Well, comics is an interesting art where the artist tries to maintain a delicate balance between visual and textual representation. It's a template given to the reader to understand the world of fiction and artist's imagination. Parents often raise their eyebrows when they are presented with the concept of learning through comics for their children, because they believe comics are junk and possibly cannot help in educating their children. However, in reality, comics can contain all the complexities of a normal written material. Complexities such as puns, metaphors, symbolism, inference, narrative structures are all present, which reader learns subconsciously. A single page in a comic can contain paragraphs worth of written material. For instance, when Donald Duck says, "I'm going to whip your tail feathers off," and you see a picture of Donald grimacing, rolling up his sleeves, and holding a tree branch, you have a very good idea about his intentions and what he's going to do in the next page, right? Inference. Secondly, comics are thoroughly entertaining. Learning can be almost effortless when it is fun. Take, for example, a friend of yours whom you know for a fact would not read anything short of the sports section in the newspaper, despite what you may call a lack of worldly knowledge. He, or by extension, most sports fans, would be able to dig into bottomless well of sports statistics, strategy, and player knowledge. Why? The reason is simple. They have fun learning facts, and this is precisely one of the aims of comics, to present a given information by inducing an element of entertainment. Let me help you explaining this by asking a simple question. How did you get to know about computers? Anyone here? In your life?
When I was in first time, somebody from Wipro came.
Well, let me tell you how I came to know about computers. It is purely because of one of the most famous characters in Indian comics, Chata Chaudhary. A punchline often used in his comics. Chata Chaudhary's mind runs faster than a computer. He used humor in the story, but at the same time, curiosity in me to understand what actually a computer is. Examples are limitless. Mars exploration, satellites, nuclear fusion are constantly being referred in comics, of course to make an interesting plot, but at the same time, educating kids about outside world objects in a very, very funny way. Lastly, do you really think comics are meant only for kids? Comics in today's environment is making out its way in technological, business, and media world. Google used comics as an advertising agent to cover up on the technicals of recently released Google Chrome browser in a very simple yet smart way. Dilbert, an aspiring professional like all of us, portrays corporate culture as a world of bureaucracy and office politics that stands in the way of productivity. A culture where employees are not rewarded for their efforts and skills, but because of their reasonableness. This amazing art has given us superheroes, adored not only by kids, but by tech-savvy filmmakers. Superheroes such as Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, and the recently famous Joker have all arisen from the arena of comics way back in 1930s, 40s. Proving their value in comics, these superheroes subsequently made their way into numerous radio channels, movies, television serials, and newspaper strips. In lieu of all these arguments, I sincerely believe if comics can capture an eye of a filmmaker, if comics can bring a smile on faces of people like us, that is adults, it can surely help in educating and broadening a kid's mind. Expose your kids to the world of comics. Let them choose their own role models. Let them figure out what kind of a fiction they are interested in. A very little initiative by you will surely help them understand, at the very least, how to adjust space between words and pictures. Over to you.
Our mind is essentially nothing more than impressions that we gather all around us, and nothing more than